on stage.
Well, honestly, that's a really good coincidence because my first time commentating, I believe, was Big Dapple 5.
Big Dapple. Wait, what?
Yes,
Oh,
Big Dapple
wow.
5, and I was here. I could be mistaken, but also at the winners semifinal, which we're looking at right now. And I'll also say we have Cakes on Team Lock-In against Fuego Calamari. My first set I ever commentated, I think, was Cakes' team versus Fuego Calamari. So we're
Was it
here
the
once
one
again.
with when he was playing with Sencon and Diff?
I think so.
Yeah, I
yes.
believe so. Because they were
yes.
playing. That was the. Funny enough, I was supposed to be the fourth. I was supposed to be the fourth,
Listen,
but
things
work didn't
happen.
cut out. Yep. Yep.
But
things did cut out.
we're looking ahead at the winner's semifinal at these map modes. We're going to be starting off at Clam Blitz Scorch Gorge. Tell me your thoughts on what you think about this map mode, Masa.
Clan Blitz Scorch has been with us since the beginning of the game. Of course, there's been some map tweaks to it, but it's still the same stage. You know, you're gonna have to take certain sides in order to be able to push. You're gonna have to, coordinate where it was gonna be. I think Lock-In is not running a Pencon. I think they're running Edit, I believe. I think they're running Edit, and Fuego Calamari, of course, has Red with the.
With that leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at these loadouts here. We do have the
Yep, there's the
aforementioned leader from Red as well as the edit from Cake. So we're going to see how that that shakes out. But more so, we're definitely going to be zeroed in on the pushes up that ramp. Of course, that choke is very difficult to go up when you're pushing. So we'll see what these teams have in their back pockets to make sure that they're able to push and get those clams in.
We already got Cooler from Locked In. Oh, they already got a pick, which is nice. They can finally start moving in. Two, nice finding two. We definitely take this ramp right here. I think Fuego Calamari, I think they've been running the same comp for a long time, and it's been working very well for them. It's been their tried and true comp for a while. I think Cactus is staying on shot. I'm not sure if he's a kitchen cooldown splash, but he's been on shot while he's on this team that's been going on for a while, and they've been doing really well.
No, absolutely. As you've mentioned, Fuego Calamari, definitely a mainstay here at Big Dapple. They're here practically every time, so these team members are really used to playing with each other. We have Cakes with that fantastic pick, but ultimately, Red, of course, has a lot of this range going on, getting double picks there. Cakes kind of trying to bide their time, but as you can see, they do go down, and there's just a bloodbath here in this choke.
Yep.
Like I mentioned off the top of this game, the name of the game is going to be getting up this choke, and even though Lock-In is getting a sufficient amount of picks, getting past this choke and getting that power clam in is proving difficult for them.
Yeah, they got to get through that scary leader, and they got to get through the sword. And honestly, we've seen Red's leader. They do not miss their shots. They know exactly where to hit, where exactly you're going to position when they see you. And when they do see you and they have their whole marker on you, you're probably dead. So you have to be very careful. Very careful. Both teams have not scored anything, and it's been the first minute, which basically means that either they're both trying to figure the way in. Oh, we got two down again, a repeat of what we saw earlier.
Yeah, actually, we are 2 minutes in, and there is no scoring. Not completely surprising, seeing as though it's very difficult to get past those chokes. We have Cactus really standing on business, getting those double picks there, and I think
now
ultimately...
Now they scored. There they go. Their push has started.
Absolutely, they've gotten that ball in, but like we usually say when it comes to competitive Splatoon, you're going to want to get that down to a 60 because, of course, when you do score that power clam in, you're giving the other team an automatic pity clam, but we see Drake here with this, this scoped Suka almost with that pick, but with two members of Fuego Calamari going down, it is now going to be time for Lock-In to really lock in and start their push.
Really locking in. All right, so now we have the Booyah. So Lock-In now, they're putting themselves in a very comfortable situation.
Yep. Absolutely. I think we have Cakes going back as the pseudo backline to get those clams to make sure that they can keep that open. They do get past the prophesized 60 points. So even though they've given the other team a power clam, they do have the points to back it up.
And again, just the aggression from Locked In. You notice that they're getting a lot of 2 downs, and the enemy team is now forced to recover when they don't have Cooler. I believe both of them went down without Cooler, funny enough. Here's Nilla with the S-Blast.
Ooh,
No, that was so, yeah. Now, we have another Zuka. I think what they're both doing now is that Fuego Calamari is trying to recover while Lock-In is constantly pressuring them, knowing for the fact that you don't have Cooler and you're approaching me, so that tells me that you want to fight me without that buff, so that way you play more risky and I play more safe by having the fact that I'm going down and you're coming back way longer than I am when I have Cooler and I die. Like, they're getting these trades that are worth for them, but they're not worth for Fuego.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Cakes is doing a really great job of making sure that their team has
the
that
denial!
Cool, well named, because that was a really cool pick there. You see 2 members down on both sides while you have Cakes right under their own basket trying to stabilize and keep that space while Gabe is sort of chipping there to try and make a sort of path for them to go in. Red, of course, with another power clam. Honestly, Fuego Calamari has a really good clam economy on their side. You see they have those 2 power clams, so Lock-In is doing a really good job of keeping their members down and keeping the space so that they're not able to make a really devastating push.
Yeah, they have to keep this space. They have to be able to make sure that Fuego Calamari does not score those 2 power clams, because if they do, it can be very bad for Locked-In. But Locked-In, as you see, they're taking those positions that Fuego Calamari wants to take, and they're not able to recover. Fuego Calamari needs to stop them before they start one more clam, and unfortunately, they're not going to be able to, as Cool was sharking on their snipe.
Yeah, an extremely dominant game from Lock-In. Well named themselves. That is 0 for Calamari, 1 for Lock-In.
Oh, I was about to say the score.
We have our streamers working there behind the scenes. But yeah, extremely dominant from Lock-In. I think a lot of their success can be, as you said, attributed to Cakes constantly having that Cooler up, but also their massive amount of aggression. You see that Fuego Calamari, quite frankly, was on the back foot for a lot of that game, but we will be heading into splat zones. Hammerhead, which
is that new? Is that new on the map list?
I don't think it is.
I didn't play when I was Big Dapple.
You said I don't remember playing
I do not remember Hammerhead Bridge being a selectable
I remember,
map.
Listen, there are quite a few very unique maps on the map list here for Big Dapple, and I think I was playing in the last Big Dapple, and I remember particularly this being on the map mode because this being a map mode on the list because I myself am an edit player, and I knew that I would be up against pencils and more specifically devastating players like Red on that leader. And this is truly a leader favored map. So even though Lock-In had a very dominant game 1, they're going to have to worry about Red being able to snipe them straight out of their pants on a really hallway-like map like this.
I remember when Hammerhead didn't have those flanks. I was just thinking, like, Hammerhead used to be so small. Now we have it in the map list, and it's a little bit bigger, but it's not, like, completely big.
Yeah, you know, this is just not a nice place to be when you don't have an extreme amount of range, which Lock-In doesn't. So we'll see if their success is able to go into this game or if there are any changes. Of course, the prophesized leader from Red, and I think just about...
we're seeing T-Tech.
Yeah, those strikes, and I think maybe those are online to be able to pressure Red out from their snipe that they're going to be there. You see them already taking that position to put that pressure. So far, the zone in a bit of neutral while everyone kind of gets their bearings. Those strikes that you mentioned before coming out really early, and Lock-In getting a really early hold on this zone. Camping this very unfortunate, but that is a trade.
He's like Locked-In is getting constant trips, double downs, and stuff like that. So they are able to just constantly keep up their pressure. Like we did see them engage first. They engaged first, and then they got the 2 picks. And now, Fuego Calamari is in a lockout situation where they have to figure out how to retake.
Yeah, that's another thing about this map mode that we didn't mention before. This can be extremely lockout heavy, especially for Red there, who maybe is having a little bit of trouble of getting their snipe that they're going to need if they're going to put the appropriate amount of pressure. But I think that Lock-in having that decap really paying in dividends. As you see, they're already down to 18.
Wow.
Fuego Calamari putting
Oh,
pressure
they
on
capped.
the zone.
They capped. Wow. They capped it. I think it was because they got that pick. They got that pick, and the pick actually helped them get that cap.
Yeah, we see kind of that 1v1 on those swords there. Nilla bringing out a Booyah Bomb, able to kind of
the Zuka
cap
from
this.
Cactus getting a pick. That's very, very nice. Oh, and unfortunately he died.
Yeah, there's 2 down on Fuego Calamari, so Lock-in, just like before, is going to want to put up that pressure and like really pressure up this hallway here. You see Gabe getting this absolute critical pick, and it's now time for them to sort of move in on that zone and see if they can cap it, because as you can see, Lock-in has a lot of points down, so now Fuego Calamari is going to have to work really hard to put some points on the board.
Something I would like to mention too is that when it comes to Lock-in, what makes it very scary also to fight their comp is the simple fact that they're running Bubble and Edit already is a very scary weapon to fight when it has. So what you notice is that Cool is popping his bubbles in situations where Case can play in, so that way he is forced to even be able to respect even more, because now they don't really have anything to move him out. The only thing they have to really move him out is the swords dipping the bubble, but they're not going to be able to do that if he's going to be constantly down. Oh, Gabe dies, unfortunately. Now they're going to be able to retake. Here we go. Here comes the strikes. Here comes the bubble. They're going to start their push. And they don't want Fuego Calamari to get this lead at all. They want to keep on asserting their dominance, keeping the fact that this is my zone. This is my zone. This is mine to keep. I am not giving it up.
Absolute critical cap there from Lock-in.
Nice.
You see,
can he find 2? He cannot find 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, gonna go down. Fuego Calamari currently in a 3v4. Red, of course, here at this snipe, seeing what they can get, but those strikes are coming out to displace them because really, they're the player on the board that everyone's going to have to be worried about. You mentioned before the bubble, and I think that's especially critical because you have Red here with a watchful eye, ready to snipe anyone who's out in the open. Having that bubble gives Cake some cover and allows them to get those picks that they need, and you see, they have already eaten through their penalty points, though they do get
but they do get
back.
more. They do get more, unfortunately.
Yeah, they get capped back here, but maybe they have it a little bit made in the shade. Of course, there's 30 ticks before there.
Oh, Case getting caught out of position. Oh, that's very, very unfortunate for them. Now they have to be forced to recover without their Cooler player having Cooler be able to give them that extra boost when they're retaking. We have a Zuka coming out. Oh, our sword is also down. Now, Fuego Calamari is now responding back. They're responding back by fighting them when they're not having Cooler, and that's something that they absolutely want to do. They are constantly picking off Locked-in, and now that is their game. That is their game. You saw how quick that game was able to flip because Fuego Calamari started to push back Locked-in. They started to push them back in, and when they finally got that push back in, it was hard for them to come back because Cakes died in that bad situation.
Yeah, I think them not having that Cooler was definitely very critical to Fuego Calamari being able to get that last push at the end there. Not to mention, Hammerhead is just a really long map, so getting back into mid is going to take a long time, but we're going into a game 3, tower control, Sturgeon Shipyard, and both of these teams are really going to have to be on their P's and Q's because tower Sturgeon is, at least to me, well known for being quite a snowbally map mode. And so if these teams aren't locked in, they're going to find a lot of problems when the other team is essentially snowballing them, giving them a lot of aggression, and getting that knockout, really.
Mm-hmm. Now, I believe Calamari has finally understood that whenever they're in advantage, it's Vic showing the poster. Let's go, Vic. Show your stuff. I think when it comes to Fuego Calamari is that I think it takes them a little bit to realize how to start. And then when they figure out everything that they need to do, that's when they start to truly understand that what we're playing against is something that we have to be able to respect, but also understand that we cannot respect them too much. They're also having the pressure from both Gabe and Cactus, Gabe is constantly going and getting the crucial picks that he needs. And Cactus is doing good at providing paint, same with Vic. Red is staying alive, which is what they need to do. But now we're going to be headed into Game 3, which is, I believe, TC Sturgeon, I believe?
Yes, TC Sturgeon.
Yeah, map mode you don't really see.
Yeah. But
one
when
of the
you're
more harder
playing it
maps
in
to play.
open,
Yeah.
you know.
One of the harder map modes to play in the game. Oh, well, one of the more awkward ones to play in the game. Okay, now we're back. Now we're back. Anyways, so I'm going to expect to start in the game that we're going to... Okay, the leader's already down. That's already good. That's already good. We're getting 2 down again.
That was a really early cooler, I think 12 seconds in on that edit, and that's why we've been seeing so much edit lately in comp. We have 1 down on the side of Lock-In. They're already making their way through their points. Like I mentioned before, not only is this a snowbally map, but as you can see there, Lock-In has a Booyah on their side. That's going to be a Juji Booyah in a place
3
like Tower.
down. But we have a bubble, so we're fine. We have a bubble, so we're fine. W bubble.
Fairly fine. We have Nilla with the jump in there, so there are 2 members already in mid, ready to put some pressure on Fuego Calamari in case they try to mount a push of their own, but they're just not able to like really take that space in mid. As you can see, this map has a lot of blue on it. Cakes is doing a really great job of making sure that there's
on the left side
pain.
ends up getting a trade. I don't know if he wanted that, but unfortunately it's happened. We're breaking Booyah armor, but unfortunately Booyah still goes. Fuego Calamari is now getting supremely pressured. But now, are they able to come out? Oh, no. Oh,
That is
no.
a wipe
That might
on
be
Fuego
it.
Calamari.
That bubble on tower? Yeah, that's it, unfortunate. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Wait, I might be
I'm
wrong.
thinking,
I might be.
no,
Oh,
you are not
that's
wrong.
Unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Just like I mentioned on the top of the game, that is a snowball and basically a 0 to knockout game.
The first 0 to knockout game the whole set.
Yeah, honestly, on a map mode like that, I'm not entirely surprised. It can be hard to really stop a push, especially when you're going up against some AoE on the other team, as well as a GG Booyah and that bubble. So
Booyah, bubble, it's very hard for Fuego to do anything. It's also in general, the thing about Locked-in's comp that you'll notice is that their whole comp is scary to fight. Like, Decap's scary to fight, S-Plus is scary to fight, Edit's scary to fight. I would say the only weapon that's not really scary to fight is their support shooter, because their support shooter is providing paint and they're providing specials for their friends to get in.
That special in question is Azuka.
That is Azuka. So. That is Azuka. Or it strikes, like we saw in the Hammerhead Bridge game.
True.
But pertaining to that, Fuego Calamari has a very scary weapon with that being Stamper. The other weapons are also scary in their own right, but Locked-in has more of a front pressure. Like when they're pressuring you consistently with their bombs, with their weapons, these weapons that just kill, like they just kill, like S-Splash just kills, Decap just kills, and then we have Edit that if you try and contest it, it's going to mow it down. We do have 2 more games, which means Fuego Calamari can completely bounce back.
It's best of 5.
Better.
We might just have 1 game left. We are at match point for Lock-in if they're able to win this this Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track game here. And I'm curious to see if we're going to see a switch off from Red, or if Red is just going to stick with that leader there, because Humpback Pump Track, well known to not be the strongest charger map. I've seen people switch to a Wellstring to perhaps an Edit. I myself switched to try Slosher here, but Red instead going to opt for this this V charger, and we do have a bit of an issue here with the VC. So the DC. So we're gonna start over, but we do get a peek into these comps here. We had a switch onto the Range Blaster, as well as a V Charger, no doubt, for that VAC from Red. So
I'm going to assume the reason why Red went V Charger is because of VAC and its Rainmaker. And the other What was the other weapon we saw that was changed?
That was a range blaster
Ooh. From Fuego or Lock-In?
from Fuego.
Oh, okay. So we're off the Stamper?
Yeah, Lock-In has a bit of a mystery on their team because we had an issue with a DC, so I'm not quite sure
I don't
what
think
that last person is playing, but Fuego Calamari had a switch on.
I highly doubt they're going to change their comp, honestly. It's been working for them. I highly doubt they're going to change the comp. I was kind of expecting Fuego to change, but I didn't know what they were going to change because considering the fact that all of them play a specific weapon class besides minus Gabe, because I have seen Gabe play other weapons like blasters. But
I think it may have been Gabe who might have made that change onto the range blaster.
Yeah.
I think that's the V range blaster with Wavebreaker, no?
Yeah. Yeah, it's V range.
Interesting choice. I think that range blaster isn't a bad choice on a place like Humpback Pump Track. Of course, it has those hills, those valleys. So sometimes AoE can be super strong here, but you know, the special not so strong.
Not so strong. Vac is it's a cheesy special. It's a very cheesy special.
Listen, if you're gonna play a charger here, you might want to go with one with Vac. So of course, you can walk up with that invulnerable special, get easier checks, because the name of the game is going to be getting check for both of these teams, because once you get that check, you can walk it forward and get those million bajillion points that they give you for getting fast checks. So we'll see who gets this pop.
Let's see who gets the pop first. I would like to mention that Gabe is running opening gambit. So that means that he is probably going to play really, really aggressive at the beginning of the game. And if he's not, well, unfortunately, that opening gambit is going to go gone.
Yeah, there's a lot of stock that goes into a skill like that on your clothes. So Gabe, of course,
already getting that pick. 3 down already from Fuego Calamari.
Yeah, Fuego Calamari already having 3 people down, so that's going to be essentially a free check. You see Cakes really dodging those Zuka strikes there, and they're going to be able to pick up. This is absolutely critical for Lock-In, because not only have they gotten that check, they now may be able to walk, but of course Red with that back is going to make it very difficult for Cakes to walk, so Fuego Calamari can restabilize and figure out what they're going to do for this push from Lock-In.
Ooh, nice Zuka. Nice Zuka pick. Unfortunately, the decap went down when he had bubble. We have a sharking range. Oh, but he misses. Oh, but he gets it. All right, nice.
Yeah, but not quickly enough, unfortunately. We have that very sad Wavebreaker going out. Wavebreaker, of course, kind of a weak special, not able to really get anything done. But Fuego Calamari is here with the push. We have that back already coming out once again from Red, and they are definitely going to be poised.
Oh, no. He's going for it. He's going for it. Oh.
Listen, I think the name of the game there was just eking out points.
Oh, but they noticed the flank. They noticed the flank. That was good awareness on their part. Good awareness on their part to notice the fact that the decap was going to flank left.
Yeah, cool, though, getting out there with their skin intact. Vic doing this very sneaky check here. I believe they do get that check, so I feel like half of the work is really done for Fuego Calamari, because once you have that check, you can now focus on that push and really start from there. But we have 2 minutes down. Red, of course, poised to get some of those picks, and Drake coming out with this this Trizuka and getting a pick there is going to make it so that one is down on Fuego Calamari, and they're going right back with the Trizuka, paying them back in turn.
Nice kill. You know, it's honestly really funny how this was Fuego Calamari's advantage, and then now it just flipped on their head. They can't really do anything now when it comes to pushes or anything like that, because the thing about Rainmaker is that it's a mode where it requires you to play really, really fast. But you also can play really, really stally if you want to, and just make the game mode a complete drag if you want to do. Like, you can just make the enemy team just like have the worst time trying to get through check and stuff like that. And we don't even know where the Rainmaker is. I believe it's near the pedestal. No, it's not even near the pedestal.
Yeah, I think Cakes was sniped there by Red there in that elbow.
Who's over here taking a 3v1 with Decav? What a very, very strong weapon. Oh, they all wiped though.
Yeah, that's going to be a wipe on Locked-In. And now, because Fuego Calamari is down quite a few points, you see Cactus pushing up here, getting paint down for that push, a tactical retreat while their team kind of stabilized. Vic, of course, getting this paint down, and also, I'm sure, probably getting that cooler and the cooler is out for this push. 2 down on the side of Lock, and 3 down, actually, is going to make it so that they might be able to take this lead, and they do.
Oh, this is what I was talking about. It's Rainmaker. Anything can happen. But, oh, no. They're going to be able to stop this. Are they going to be able to stop this? They're going to be stopped. Oh, wow.
They are not. That is going to be another feather in the cap for Fuego Calamari.
Game 5 between Fuego Calamari and Locked In.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a game 5
I'm surprised that they were able to bring that back. A lot of time it looked like they were down, like a lot of numbers. But they were able to bounce back and be able to actually get a good push going on. They had to finally use that back to their advantage, and now they got a KO. We were seeing 3 KOs. Game 2, Game 3, and Game 4.
Yeah, but quite frankly, I think that the other game that Fuego Calamari won, that Hammerhead Bridge zones, was also kind of eked out at the end there. Like in all of these games, especially that Fuego Calamari has gotten the W in, we've seen them with like a very dominant game from lock-in, and it looks like they're basically 1 foot in the coffin, and then they just get, sometimes all it takes is one nasty monumental push, and you're able to just get that win and force that game 5. But speaking of a game 5, we're going to be looking at Clam Blitz Umami. Let me know your thoughts about this map mode, Masa.
Clam Blitz Umami. One of the better clan maps. Unfortunately, we don't have that many good clan clans. Umami. It's Umami. I mean, like, the reworks made it really, really good. Like, I won't deny. I think Clam Blitz being my favorite mode, even though it's my favorite mode.
Brush, your favorite mode?
Okay, listen. It used to be Rainmaker. It used to be Rainmaker until I found out it wasn't good. But they were ending the tiebreaker off on Clam Blitz. Now, it could be a repeat of what we saw Game 1. Because a lot of the things that are happening in this set is kind of like a back and forth thing where it's like Calamari gets down by 3 people. And it happens, a lot of the time. And then Locked In makes one single mistake, and the whole thing crumbles. So it could either be for Calamari paying the price of constantly going 3 down or 2 down, or Locked In not being locked in when someone gets, down from anything.
Yeah, we see both of these teams kind of going to their bread and butter. Red back on that blue leader, interestingly enough, instead of opting for that red leader. And like you mentioned, very similarly to Scorch, here also has these very difficult chokes that you're going to have to go past in order to score in that basket. But we already have 2 members down on Fuego Calamari.
What?
Into a wipe.
How did he hit that? Yo, Decaf is busted. All right, good. Good stuff, Cool. Good stuff.
Yeah, and
I'm
that's
surprised
after
he hit that double, honestly. Actually, I mean, they were lined up. They were lined up. I'm just more surprised the parry didn't work. All right, so they are getting a lot out of that push. Like, it's already, like, about to be a minute into the game, and they got a lot of claims, and 100 to 38.
Yeah, this is a massive push, and like we said before, they are past the 60 mark, which you're going to want to be if you're going to give that team their pity clam. This is going to mark the end of that push, so now it's time for Fuego Calamari to really stabilize, make sure that they are not going more than 2 people down. Of course, they have that that tactic cooler, so it's time to push for them, but it's just not going to matter if they're not able to get those picks. You see, the clam economy really is on the side of Fuego Calamari. They have all the stuff that they need to push. All they need now is the picks, the people down on lock-in, so that they can get to that basket and get some points on the board.
Now, Fuego Calamari has all their space in them, and Locked In is all the way in their core area, but they're constantly fighting back so they can get that space back. Nilla is going in with the S-Blast. He unfortunately only gets 1, but it's enough to even out the numbers advantage. Now, Locked In is able to move in and take their space and play with their space.
Yeah, you have Cakes being very careful about their push here. Of course, they're up against a leader, but they do go down, leaving that power clam out in the open. Gabe getting a bit of a trade there.
That was crazy. All right. We see you, Nilla. We see you.
2 members down before there, I think on the side of Locked In, but everybody is back and stabilizing. Of course, Fuego Calamari has a really strong clam economy on their side, but with Red going down, 3 members going down from Fuego
3 members
Calamari.
of Fuego Calamari going down. That is not what you want in this situation. Oh, but but the one jumps in and trades.
Yeah, that's going to be a critical trade because I think Locked In was really poised to make a solid push there, but with those trades, that's going to stop them. But we are more than halfway through this match, and Fuego Calamari has yet to put any points on the board. So now with another push imminent.
Another score. Fuego Calamari hasn't scored anything. Are we good? Okay, okay, that's happened. Oh, now Gabe got 2 picks. Good. Okay, so Locked In now has a very comfortable situation that they're playing in. They have mid, they have their resources, they have some sort of resources, but unfortunately, they have 2 power clams, unless they didn't grab the first one. I believe they grabbed the first one. If they didn't, they only have 1 power clam.
Regardless, I think Locked In has a really strong clam economy. You see all of their members have a healthy amount of clams. They have, I think, way over 1 power clam's worth of clams between all of them. Gabe, of course, really putting in the work to shred this bubble, but quite frankly, I think the name of the game, like the win condition for Fuego Calamari, is going to be just getting members of Locked In down. It's not happening. 2 members down on Fuego Calamari with that wave breaker out. It seems as though another push perhaps is imminent with just over 1 minute left. So I think Fuego Calamari is going to have to stop trying to stabilize and figure out what they have to do to be able to get a push in so that they can at least get some points on the board with just a minute left. Yeah, we have Cakes here kind of taking this space. Red trying to also make it very dangerous for members of Locked In to move forward. Cakes taking some cover here.
Oh, I thought we were going to get a repeat of what we saw last game, where Fuego Calamari finally decided to just run in and go ahead and kill Locked In. Oh, but we get the trade, which is unfortunate because... Oh, wait.
Yeah,
we're seeing it.
3 members
Fuego
are down.
Calamari is now moving in. They're now moving in. They have clams. They have pity. They're going to get 52 in the count. 53.
Yeah, with just
they're still in it.
left.
They have 11 seconds left. They have 11 seconds to make that happen. They have another pity ball, so they're not going to be able. They're going to be able to do something in overtime. Locked In has to be very, very, very careful before anything happens. They have to make sure they have their resources ready, so that way Fuego Calamari cannot score. There's 2 down.
Yep, 2 down on the side of Fuego Calamari. We have Red out with that wave breaker, really trying to stabilize, waiting for their teammates to come in so that they can make this final push, and they're throwing that forward, hoping someone can get it in. But Red is the only one alive, and that is going to be a delayed wipe
Good effort.
A win for Locked In, along with some, sometimes you really, when you're that locked in and you get that W,
and it feels so nice.
You gotta stand up and yell. I feel you, Nilla. I feel it. But yeah, I think at the end there, too many people unfortunately going down, and a really strong defense there from Team Locked In, going to give them that game 5, and I think another feather in their cap that's going to make them 3-0 for this tourney.
That was scary for Locked In and Fuego at the same time, because if Locked In and Fuego, it was down to whoever made the first mistake, and I believe Fuego Calamari